Again, I do want to reiterate, in the group stages, we were able to see what was called the revive rule, which when one team went to match point, the other team would be able to bring back one of their players who had previously lost in the match. We are in the playoff stage now, and that rule no longer applies. So SMI is going to have to send out the next player on their roster and try and upset King against this 4-2 lead that he has.
And it is going to be another PVZ, and we've seen a pretty consistent style out of King in PVZ, so will we see that again as well?
Yeah. Should be interesting.
Just getting our things set up here. So it's going to be 4-2 in favor of Overdose Gaming for King. So will he be able to seal it out, or will his SMI opponent be able to thwart his progress here? Also, stick with us after this series. This is our second series of the day. We weren't able to catch the interview from the StarCraft Ascension captain after our first series, where StarCraft Ascension took the win over Eternal Dreamers, but he is back and he is available. So after we have our interview for this series, we'll be trying to bring him in to do a quick interview with him as well, if you were around to watch that previous series. So a lot of StarCraft action here tonight, a lot of cool games, and this is the StarCraft 2 Community Team League, and we thank you for taking time out of your evening to join us.
Absolutely. Big thanks again to DOS Keyboard. I'll say it again, as they are the sponsors for the tournament. They have been super supportive. They are donating the grand prize for the winner of the global tournament, which is the 5 DOS Keyboards. Please tweet at them, let them know that you appreciate them supporting esports in general and supporting this league. And yeah, hopefully they'll continue to support esports and this league in the future as well.
Yep, and I just pasted a thing in chat for you to tweet out to them in support of them and us as well. So that would be great if you could do that to show them that you're watching and that you enjoy their representation of this league. And with that, let's get right on into game number 7. So in the lower right-hand corner from Team SMI, they're trying their best to do some damage here. Can this orange Protoss named Seren get it done?
And in the top left-handed corner, representing Overdosed Gaming, it is King.
Oh, there's a pretty darn early probe coming out here. Oh, and he's going to be putting down a 9 pylon at the natural expansion, so it's going to be a pretty standard, I'd presume Nexus first. Usually this probe out to do a scout and see what Seren is doing and decide what to do from there.
And I would actually kind of be surprised at this point if we did not see that air toss play that we saw in the first 2 games that King played. So it'll be interesting to see if Seren is able to come up with the defense that his teammates were not able to do.
So a couple different angles to think of it from. Seren has seen 2 games where King has done the same thing. So on one hand, he's got to have a good idea of what to expect. On the other hand, King could think that that's what he's going to be thinking and do something completely different. Mind games.
Dem mind games.
So a pool does go down at 14. Pretty standard. Hatch is going to be next, I'm sure. So King likely going to put down that Nexus first, as he has other times.
And he sure is saving up those minerals, rallying the probe straight on over.
He does like using up that 8 p.m. to harass the outlying mineral patches as well.
And why not keep your hands warm?
My hands are plenty warm. It's hotter than Hades down here. we've been casting for a couple hours now. These lights are starting to burn holes in my retinas. But we're taking it for the team to bring you these cool games. Overdose Gaming versus Team SMI. Match point for Overdose right now. It's been a pretty exciting series.
Certainly has. So this is a really delayed hatchery from Seren. And it looks like King is kind of like, what is going on here? Bringing his probe back in, trying to see what is going on that is not bringing the hatchery. But Seren now taking out that probe and moving that drone down to get the hatchery.
I think it's pretty smart from Seren. I mean, obviously he's going for a fairly quick speedling play, as he does have speed in production. He mined 100 gas and moved the drones right back to mining minerals. Queen comes out for larva. So But, I mean, by that time, One King is going to have his wall established. He's going to be well protected. What's his follow-up, do you think?
You know, I have no idea. It looks like he's going for this Ling-heavy play, but they're going to run right into that wall. It's possible that if he got back into gas, he could try and do a Baneling bust. But there's One King getting those cannons, just saying, you know what, that's what I like to do.
Yep, he does put he does put 2 drones back in gas, so he wants to have a small trickle of that gas coming in, puts down a creep tumor to connect his bases. But One King looking fairly well established here. 2 cannons at the front.
Yeah, that's going to be well defensed against any of this ground aggression until Banelings are able to come out.
I'm interested to see, or I don't think we will see it, obviously, with what Seren is doing, but curious more like to see what the really quick max of roaches would do against this type of layer.
Lings do run in and run up against those cannons. It looks like he wasn't really microwing them. He could have gotten in to get that scout, but decides to try and just attack that cannon. Although there is not much to see.
You do have some good intuition, though, Gallegation, as a Baneling nest is coming down. This is exactly what I said the past 2 games that I wanted to see if the Zerg player could break in by doing a quick Baneling bust against these cannon walls.
He's got to be careful with these Lings, though. He can't keep running them into these cannons in losing them. He only did lose about 4, I think. So not too many just yet, but does have 2 at the front of One King's base. Just keeping an eye on that wall. A 3rd cannon now going down for One King.
He's making a ton of Lings, though. 16 in production. He's still only got 16 drones, so economy is not an important thing to Seren right now. He's trying to see if he can end this right away, expecting that One King's going to be going for the same type of play, it seems like.
Yeah, and that's definitely, I think, the right decision here. The Cybernetics Core has not finished yet. Just now wrapping up, and I think that we'll be seeing the starports come down, or stargates rather.
So it's
another cannon.
What angle do you think would be best to attack with these Banelings if he was to be most effective with this push?
You know, I don't even know. There's just so many cannons there. I almost wonder if he shouldn't just try and get those Lings around. Great play to keep the attention from the cannons out, and yep, taking down that pylon and running straight into the main.
Awesome play by Seren.
Yeah, great play. 1 Baneling. Oh, look at that. Huge Baneling. Oh, so many throw kills.
Wow, this is exactly what I wanted to see out of the Zerg player to see if they could do against One King, but looks like he's going to be able to take this main Nexus down. One King has no answer to this. He invested all his money in cannons.
But that does mean that he's not going to be able to get a lot more aggression done at that main, or at that natural rather, without making a bunch more Banelings.
Yeah, I mean, he just can't get those Zerglings in there because to come down the ramp, there's 5 cannons there. That's going to pretty much stop anything coming in.
And now, Mothership Core coming forward, shooting its little laser beams to try and kill the Zerglings slowly.
Let's look at the unit count here. I mean, it's 18 drones for Seren. That is horrendously low. One King, even losing a base on 1 base now, still has more workers. He's got 22.
Well, you know, One King was going for a macro play, and Seren is just deciding this is an all-in play. I have to shut this down before it gets big. Oh, huge force field keeping all the Banelings out. Those are going to get cleaned up by the air. Oh, that hurts so much. Zerglings running around trying to get any probe kills, but the probes retreat to the cannons, and that cleans up all of the aggression there.
Wow, that force field literally just saved One King.
That would have been a lot of damage. That's for sure.
If those Banelings would have gotten out, I like to think they would have gone for those cannons and taken out at least 2, if not 3 of them, and then allowed for a subsequent rush of Lings to come through and do a lot more damage.
Yeah, I think that's what he had intended. There were Lings sitting outside the wall off there, trying to get more Lings in, but One King, satisfied with that defense, is going to try and re-expand to his main.
And the Void Rays heading out. Same play that he liked to, maybe a little bit delayed, maybe a little less Void Rays, but still just as potent. 3 Void Rays going to be coming in here to see if they can take out a hatchery.
And each base only has 1 Spore Crawler, 1 Queen, so if they get the right attack angle, they may be able to do a lot of damage here.
And problem for Seren, too. Now he can't keep up the pressure. I mean, he has to go back and he has to drone like a crazy person because he put on all that aggression and it didn't kill One King. So now he's got to transition out of it.
Yep. Oh, that Spore Crawler in decent position. He tries to uproot and re-burrow to try and get some damage done. Oh, huge time warp. That queen is going to die.
No, maybe not. Spore crawler.
Maybe not.
Saved by the spore crawler.
One King doing a really good job, though, of getting the angles very effective to attack the bases without actually taking any damage from these spore crawlers. And that's got to be hugely frustrating as a Zerg player trying to defend against this. That queen, oh my gosh, it is surviving.
Yeah, One King finally deciding he's got to get these Void Rays out of there, as Seren doing a good job of getting spore crawlers around One King's army along with the queens. I mean, he was able to save one queen with 15, actually looks like 16 HP now, but more. He's opting now to go for Phoenix since he doesn't have the economy to put down the fleet beacon. So we'll see what these Phoenix can do. I'm thinking maybe not so much. There's a lot of spore crawlers out.
And Hydras are being followed up as well, so there is going to be a decent amount of anti-air there. The question is he going to be able to push into the main base of One King to lock this game up?
Gallegation. There's a fleet beacon.
Of course there is.
Fleet beacon going down for One King, so never give up, never surrender. One King definitely has practiced this style, and it's very strong in Zerg. I'm going to have to go back and watch these replays and figure out how to do this myself.
Yeah, this is an incredible play. You know, even under pressure, even taking early losses, just staying calm, making the defense, and then re-expanding where he needs to, putting on a little bit of aggression, but very patient, very slow, calculated pushes.
I mean, if you think even when One King, oh, here comes the first carrier. So even when One King went across with those few Void Rays, I mean, granted, he didn't do a ton of damage, but think of the time that he consumed for Seren. Seren had to use so much APM to move around spore crawlers, to make more queens, to make more hydras. I mean, that was a lot of time that he could have used for getting a better army going, and now One King is moving into that unstoppable army.
That's absolutely right. He also had to use those minerals that he had to do all that. And what you're seeing now is that One King is, you know, he's getting his economy back up. He's on 2 bases. And Seren, at this point in previous games, the Zerg player would have been expanding a 3rd or 4th or 5th maybe. And this time he's only on 2 bases.
Yeah. And, you know, he's got 2 Stargates here, so he's making carriers out of both. So thinking that, you know, 2 bases is going to be enough to keep this going, just getting gas established in his main again. But, I mean, wow, Seren is really starting to get where he's going to have trouble really penetrating this. Those 5 cannons at the front, there's how many Void Rays? There's 5 Void Rays and 2 Phoenix, and soon going to be 2 carriers.
But Enduring Locusts are going down, so we are going to see a Swarm Host follow-up here. I don't know about this decision to transition into this.
I mean, maybe Seren is thinking, I've just got to try something different. But in my mind, the thing different to try would be Vipers.
Well, you know, it is an interesting tactic when you think, you know, what One King has been doing up to this point is he's been making an obscene number of cannons to be the wall for him, you know, to provide him with the defense that he needs to continue to get the economy that he needs to support this army. If you can use the Zerg siege unit to destroy those cannons for free, theoretically, as long as you don't lose your swarm hosts, then that could be the tipping of the scales that you need.
Yeah, that's definitely a fact. But the issue that we have here, I think, is that, I mean, Seren is using his Stargates, yeah, but, I mean, he's not got an economy enough to use them both. So as soon as he sees a hint of swarm hosts, I mean, in my mind, he's just going to pop out a couple oracles for detection. And that's going to be that.
Those swarm hosts did, if he was paying attention to that hallucinated Phoenix, he was going to be able to see those swarm hosts. 2 more cannons are going down, but he's not stopping the carrier production.
Yeah, we don't see any big reaction out of One King, so this will be the ticker.
And why
right here.
should he? Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Hydra's getting caught off guard, having to run back. Does take down the mothership core. The Queens are coming up to try and reinforce these Hydras, getting some transfuses off, but the Phoenix are lifting them up, and that is going to spell disaster for those.
Yeah, Oracle
those are going to all be cleaned up.
Oracle is now in production, so I mean, now Seren having no units out. I mean, these.
And those interceptors are just saying, "That's cute."
Look,
Locust.
Look on
That's
Protoss.
cute.
I have free units too. Actually, that's not true. Interceptors are not free. They're 25 minerals. Sorry.
But you can't. I mean, the Locusts can't do anything to the Interceptors.
It's true. Well, and there's Revelation, and there go the Swarm House.
Well,
So
now Seren is trying to scratch his head, think, what do I do now? That didn't work.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I still stand by that. I think Vipers need to be tried, but I mean, it is a long tech path. You know, Seren has been on a low econ a lot of this game, trying to get himself into a position to be able to do anything. So, I mean, he got layer really late, so he does have infestation bit, so he could go hive, but doesn't look like he's really headed that way.
But the thing is, One King is actually effectively on more bases at this point. I mean, he doesn't have as many workers mining, I suppose, now that a bunch of drones did just get made onto that third base for Seren,
Ha!
but he's had this
Look at
third
this.
base on.
This is
What's
cute.
that?
There's a hallucinated probe going out scouting. That's new. Wow, that just blew my mind right there, folks. That's quite the strategy. But Swarmhouse already sieged up on the left side, going to be doing a little bit of damage to this here gas extractor, but there are nearly enough Phoenix to lift up all the Locusts, but no, they're going to lift up the Swarmhouse instead. So Seren's still in a bit of trouble here. I mean, his food is higher, but if we look at the income tab, now the incomes have equalized, but just a minute ago, I mean, Seren did have a significant advantage in the mineral income.
So we're seeing Hive come down. It'll be interesting to see what he does with that kind of technology. He is getting the 1/1 ups for his Hydralisks.
I do like the Hydras he's producing. If he gets a few Vipers off of this Hive, that's what I want to see. I just want to see if it can work. He does have a little bit of issue here mining in his main base. His minerals are about to be exhausted, and he's got a good number of drones mining off of 2 patches here. And he could be, well, looks like his other 2 bases are fully saturated, so as soon as this third comes up, he could be sending those out. But look at the Spore Crawlers.
And he is making a lot of those. Vipers are indeed on their way out.
This is exactly what I wanted to see. A Spore Crawler push across the middle of the map with Vipers, with Hydras, with Creep Tumors, slowly moving that creep across to yoink those carriers right into the spores.
This could be effective, especially if he hits before One King is able to get to the point that he wants to in terms of the critical mass of those carriers. He's only at 142 food. Seren is at 162, so not a huge differential in foods yet, but Seren has a way to go in terms of trying to spread this creep. Huge number of Spore Crawlers going down.
Yep. I think if there's a chance to beat this, Seren is doing the right thing now. I think he's a little late in doing it, so the fact that he's behind in the push may be the downfall. But I think if he would have started this push earlier instead of going for Swarmhouse, I mean, that's a lot of Hydras he could have made with those with that investment in Swarmhouse that was basically useless. Vipers now heading across the map. They are not fully charged yet, but they will be shortly. But, I mean, One King has 8 carriers now.
And he's making 4 or 5 at a time, so he's got huge numbers coming out and closing that food gap very quickly.
The thing that is impressive, though, I mean, I've seen it before in some mono battles, that Spore Crawlers are really good at killing interceptors. So here we're going to see what happens here. If he can get a couple good yoinks out here and just start whittling down the carrier numbers, it could be huge. Oh, but he's sacrificing so many Hydras to the cannons.
Yeah, you don't want to be engaging there, and now the interceptors are moving in, losing more Hydras. That can't be exactly what he wanted. There goes a yoink, but it gets a Phoenix.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's not what he had planned. But now he needs to move up these Spore Crawlers and start advancing this push a little bit. Because the Hydras alone definitely, are not going to do what he was hoping.
But I do like this aggressive play. This does seem like a promising push here, as long as he is able to execute it correctly. One King undeterred, though, putting more cannons down.
Yeah, the thing is that, because Seren is making this push, One King can't go around it. He has to deal with it, because if he doesn't, his Hydras are going to wreck him.
Mothership is just about to finish up, and that's going to make it very difficult for those Vipers to be effective. Because you can't yoink what you can't see.
Oh, there comes a Void Ray carrier, another Void Ray. So
And there goes One. Oh, it doesn't get killed. And the whole army. Oh my goodness.
He is getting some carrier yoinks into those spores, but the spores are going down really fast as there's just
there's just too
huge
many.
number.
There's just so many.
Yeah.
Yoinking out a Void Ray, able to kill that off, but goodness.
Yeah, I think this was definitely the thing that has the ability to do this, but you know, I think it was just delayed a little bit too much by the transition into Swarm Host.
It was a cute idea doing this Swarm Host. I like the idea behind it, and I do like the aggression that he's been putting on, but it's just not, the critical mass has been attained. One King is almost at max. I just don't see how he's going to be able to pull this off.
Yeah, he's at 41 Hydras now, so he's got a good number of Hydras. If we look at the upgrades, he's got 2-2 ranged, but I mean he's got 3-3 now coming in. So if he can hold off One King until 3-3 finishes, that could be a good start. But I mean he's gonna have to expand more. I mean the thing with One King's army is he can't move around, so I mean he should be taking as many expansions as he can. Agreed?
Oh, absolutely. So this army is moving forward for One King. He is able to clean up a lot of these creep tumors, so that's going to push back the advancement that Seren was trying to put forward. 3-3 is being researched now, but is it going to be enough as One King is moving forward on this slow attack path that he's been showing in the previous games? He's just going to go pick off expansions.
This is a lot of Hydras though, so if he can yoink this Mothership core out right away, that will, the Mothership actually, that will negate the cloak, but oh my gosh, there's so much DPS in this army.
He's just going to take so much damage trying to do that. He does get the yoink off, and there that goes. But
now
still, I mean, two Vipers fall, he's only got 2 left.
Yeah, I mean, 3-3 is going to be the critical upgrade here, and he's still got a while until it finishes, but he's got 17 more Hydras in production, so I mean, if he keeps this up, I mean, he might be able to make some headway. A couple of nice yoinks to take out a couple Void Rays, but I mean, look at the bank that One King has. I mean, as soon as he loses something, he just remakes it.
And he's getting an expansion behind it. He's got he's not even fully utilizing his Stargate production here. He's got one that's just kind of idling because he doesn't have he doesn't have the room in his army for it. He's just maxed in food.
Yeah, but it looks like he's gonna not expanding or putting down more cannons. I mean, he does have almost a fresh third base here, or fourth base, sorry. But he's probably gonna want to be moving out here. So he's gonna need to keep that bank up. I mean, for as much as carriers cost, he's got enough to make 3-4 more carriers right now. So bank not entirely high, and 200 army of Hydra Viper is a pretty scary force, especially without.
It can be, but
AoE.
He's just been taking so much damage trying to get any of those carriers out of that group that even he's able to get 1 or 2 off, but taking such heavy losses in the Hydraless count, it's just taking him a long time to be able to remax. He's still not even at max.
I want to bring your attention real quick as the Hydras are attacking to the units lost tab, where it's 20,000 lost for Seren and only 9,000 for One King.
That is pretty daunting. These Hydras are going to be able to take out that Nexus, though.
So now he needs to hightail it out of there.
Yeah, minor victory.
Yeah, I mean that was a lot of cannons he was able to take out, and he didn't lose all that much. So
He didn't know, but those Vipers are getting out of position. The Phoenix is able to see them.
Oh no! Oh, bad positioning for the Voiders. Those Hydras can get in there and do some damage. Nice yoinks of the Void Rays.
But just so many interceptors. The Hydraless count is just dwindling so fast. And all that army's getting cleaned up.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, a large number of Hydras. I mean, Seren just spent down his bank 28 Hydras in production, but you need a lot more than 28 Hydras to deal with all those carriers.
And 5 more Void Rays into production from One King. He's just continuing to resupply what he needs to keep his composition the way he wants it, re-expanding, putting down more cannons.
Yeah, One King definitely flexing his muscles here because, I mean, he could walk in right now and kill Seren, let's be honest. But he's not. He's sitting back, he's macroing up, he's keeping his 200 army and continuing to upgrade his 200 army, making more production structures so he can replenish it. So, you know, he feels in a good position. You know it.
He is running into a little bit of a problem with his mineral income, though, as he's pretty much mined out. He's only on, he's got the one mining base at his third, and he's trying to re-expand and long-distance mine from his fourth, just to try and keep those minerals going.
And he's actually broke right now. I mean, look at his minerals. He's got 175 minerals. So with all the bases, I mean, that's where Seren could maybe take another advantage now with all the bases he has. If he can just, you know, even if he doesn't trade the most efficiently, if he just trades, because he's got the better income right now.
He's also putting down a Nidus network, which I think I like here. I think this could be cool. Now, he's not going to be able to bring those Vipers with him, as they're not going to be able to fly into those Nidus networks.
He could put a Nidus here in the natural, go in, snipe some stuff. Oh, no, it looks like it's going to be a economic Nidus, so to speak.
I don't think so. I think that's going to just be an aggressive Nidus from a different direction.
Yeah, but he's got a big problem heading for his front door right here.
He sure does.
He knows it.
He's got to decide here whether he's going to try and put the aggression that will pull back the army, or if he's going to try to defend this. I think he's making the... he's going to try and defend it. I don't think I agree with this. He does pull one carrier out, does get the snipe off on it.
He's having good control here, not losing too much and killing some things. So that's a start.
It is a start, but he's losing bases. I mean, he's trading bases for a carrier at this point.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, in this position, Zerg going for a base trade, you know, sounds like a good idea, but One King can just recall at a moment's notice. He's going to take this base out, and he's going to recall to his third, almost guaranteed, and see what he can do here. But that's my prediction. Maybe he won't, but...
well, there's not a mothership core. Oh, there is a mothership.
There's a mothership core. So he's gonna try and put Seren in the same hurt that he's in, and that's a number of bases hurt.
Yeah. Well, I think One King is smart to continue on the offensive here. He's got a lot of cannons, building more, and he just needs the slow move. Oh, he is gonna recall.
Yep. You see that nice click there to stack all his units and do the recall. Looks like he accidentally activated Envision on his Oracle. So
and now he's looking like he's going to take another base on the same trajectory as his attack path. That is brilliant. That's how you want to expand, is behind your army.
Yeah. So Viper count still at 3, which, I mean, it's so hard to say. I mean, there's really not enough yoinks to even be able to do anything before most of the Hydras die.
But you can't put too many Hydras in or Vipers in your army, as they just are casters. They don't do any damage on their own.
Right, and Blinding Cloud doesn't do anything against air units.
No, it does not. There's a yoink, pretty successful, doesn't lose too much. He loses a few Hydras. Spore Crawlers dealing huge damage to those interceptors.
Oh my gosh, look at the cannons.
I mean, this is like a full map cannon rush at this point.
Yeah. So One King just aggressively taking bases now. I mean, he knows that Seren is trying to expand up this side, so he's going to take this base and just spend his money on cannons, because he knows he's got the mineral income lead now.
Another great yoink.
Yeah,
Does lose a Viper in that transaction,
you can't trade one Viper for one carrier, though.
Not on this amount of income, not at this stage of the game. Oh my goodness, this is... He's just going to cannon rush this base.
And it's very easy to do from behind because there's no creep back there.
So now the Voids and the carriers are moving into the main, going to take out all of the structures. Taking out that one of the few remaining mining bases. And where is Seren going here?
Look at the DPS on these carriers. They nearly just take out a hive in 4 seconds. So it looks like Seren is going to swing around to do a counterattack, but as we said before, it's just not going to work, because as soon as One King sees it, he's just going to recall.
And I mean, I think he was expecting to find some bases on this side of the map, and has to be disappointed that he's not finding any. He definitely doesn't want to push that third, as it's almost mined out. He'd take heavy losses for not much return. But in the meantime, he's just losing everything. He's losing all his overlords. He's losing all his tech structures. I mean, this is just insanity.
Yeah, he's even rebuilding an infestation pit in the middle of the map. There you go. Take that. So he's taking his sweet time, you know, killing Seren, even though he has the better army by a long shot. I mean, let's be honest. But Seren getting burrowed. But here's the big engagement.
And
Nice
big fungal going down on all
rays.
those Void Rays. Hydra's able to get some decent damage off, but, you know, a few Corruptors getting picked off, but the Interceptors are just taking down these Hydralisks so fast. And that's it. That's the game.
Yeah, no GG there, and I don't. Hey, you gotta be frustrated because
Oh, yeah.
that's, you know what's coming, you see it coming, but there's just nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, that is definitely got to be frustrating as a Zerg player, and that is going to be the all kill.
So definitely go out there, definitely watch these VODs, copy this build. Obviously, it's something to be reckoned with, and so that's going to be One-A-King coming out after SMI wins 2 in a row to win 5 in a row, all killing SMI after being down by 2 to take the win and eliminate SMI from SC2CTL Season 1.
Which means Overdose Gaming moves forward in the tournament and still has a shot at those 5 DOS keyboards.
Yep, and we are going to have an